Scientists wanted to answer the question, what is the scariest movie of all time? So they conducted an experiment, as all good scientists do, and they decided to have willing participants hook themselves up to heart rate monitors and watch hundreds of classic horror films. These 10 films are the movies that spiked the participants' heart rate monitors up the most, deeming them the scariest movies of all time, according to science. Number 10 is House LLC. Now, this is a found footage horror movie, which seems to divide horror fans. On one end of the spectrum, you have tons of creativity. You have sort of that eerie realism that comes from found footage. On the other end, you have low budgets, amateur acting.
I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide.
It is unique in that it tells the story of people trying to create a Halloween haunted house that then ends up being haunted.
Called it Godspeed. Hey, man.
And I love this trope because already we're scared of the props that are in a Halloween haunted house. At least I am. I'm a screamer. In this movie, there's clown props, there's all sorts of things that become haunted, and it's very surface level, definitely heart-pounding horror. Nothing really under the surface going on. This is not a psychological horror film. This is definitely jump, ooga booga, I'm scared, and it's over.
So you have no idea what's on them?
How beautiful is this?
Number 9 is Talk to Me. Now, I find Talk to Me to be a masterpiece of horror.
Do it.
A much more psychological, plot-driven film.
Cannot go for more than 90 seconds. Am I clear?
But in terms of scares, I don't really find it that scary. The movie was made by 2 YouTubers from Australia who decided to venture into feature filmmaking, and it is really fantastic. Just the movement, the way it's told is really entertaining and feels like it's done from a seasoned filmmaker. Although I do not totally agree with it being on a list of scariest movies, but apparently science disagrees.
Like you?
Number 8 is The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
For the glory of God.
Which shocks me that it made it to this list because I thought most people forgot about that movie. Back when I was in middle school and it came out, it was the talk of the hallways in middle school. We were shaking in our boots from that movie. Just the trailer alone was enough to keep us up at night. Next to The Exorcist, I do think it's one of the better possession movies.
He's a liar. The demon is a liar. He will like to confuse us.
But I, again, didn't realize it had that much hold on people. And I remember it being more of a courtroom drama and a thriller than I did an actual horror film, but the horror sequences were pretty outstanding. Number 7, we've got Smile, which a lot of people really love the Smile. And apparently the second one is fantastic. I find Smile to be overrated. I find it to be a pretty generic run-of-the-mill horror film.
You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to...
I can see it, the concept, somebody going, oh my God, if they're smiling, it must be so scary as they're doing something sinister. It just doesn't click for me. It's kind of like comic booky, like I see all the storyboards with the big smile and everybody thinking this is going to be a scary movie, and it just doesn't translate to an actually terrifying film for me. But again, science disagrees.
Dr. Scott!
Number 6 is Hereditary, which is probably the best movie on this list.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
In terms of the quality of the film. Totally plot driven by great performances, most notably Toni Collette,
Because nobody admits anything they've done!
who was totally snubbed for an Oscar. I mean, leave it to the Oscars to snub horror in general, but this one, really, she was deserving and was a total pan. She's brilliant in this film, and so much of the tension and the scariness comes from watching her react to her life falling apart and then losing her damn mind. Number 5, we've got The Conjuring. It relies heavily on jump scares, most notably the clapping is like one of the most iconic jump scares of recent years.
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it?
Number 4 is Insidious. Now, this movie's jump scares are brilliant. I'm not a big fan of the jump scare genre. I find it cheap. Insidious finds a way to do it while still being a good film overall and an enjoyable movie, and also getting under your skin in certain ways.
I went into Dalton's room. There was something in there with him.
While also being really, really jumpy. This movie has the biggest jump scare of all. It had the biggest spike of heart rate, and it's for the infamous scene where they're at the dinner table and it cuts to the guy and there's the red-faced demon behind him. It was considered the biggest jump scare in film history, and so I can see that happening. Number 3 is Skinamarink.
In this house.
And this is another movie that, like the found footage movies, will divide audiences. I've heard people say it's the most boring movie of all time, and I won't disagree with you there. But I do think when it is scary and intense, there is nothing like the fear and the way this movie makes you feel. I remember watching this for the first time and I was up late at night and it was dark and I just thought to myself, a scene came around about 40 minutes into the movie where I thought, I don't think I've ever been this scared by a movie. I mean, this is intense. Unfortunately, it's bookended by so many boring, long scenes. I guarantee you most people watch this movie while scrolling on their telephone and then looking up now and then to catch a glimpse of something. Number 2 is Host. Which is maybe another degree or another step beyond found footage. And this is what I was talking about where I love the horror genre can be told in such creative ways, and especially when there's no budget, and this movie clearly had no budget.
Is there anyone there? Please come forward.
But it was made during the pandemic, and they basically had people Zoom the entire movie. So the entire movie takes place over Zoom, which is a pretty brilliant idea if you're some young filmmaker trying to get your film across.
I think there's something here.
Do you see that?
For it to be the second scariest movie of all time, that's really pushing it, okay, science? I don't know if I totally agree with that. So leave me a comment with the scariest movie you've ever seen. There's so many on here. I mean, movies that aren't even horror movies can be really frightening. I've always said David Lynch's movies scare me a lot. There's a lot of French horror like Martyrs and High Tension, Frontiers. Those movies are really scary. The Japanese make really scary movies. I'm surprised a Japanese or an Asian horror film isn't on here. But I mean, Pulse, The Eye, The Grudge, The Ring, those movies are really frightening on a whole other level. The number one here, though, and this movie also had a very, very powerful jump scare, is the movie Sinister. Now, I found this movie to be more of a psychological thriller than a horror movie, but that lawnmower scene that everybody references is pretty jumpy, so I will give it there. Overall, though, I'm pretty disagreeing with science here. I don't know who they hooked up to these heart rate monitors, maybe 4-year-olds, but there's a lot of scarier movies out there.